These are like the Gymshark Flex on steroids. It kind of reminds me of like a wetsuit. Scrunch is quite intense. I think we've been sleeping on these leggings. That is a big bag. Do you ever just look at how much stuff you bought and you're like, when did I do this? How did this happen? Like I blacked out. All right, so today we are doing an ECHT review. And if you're wondering, why is she saying ECHT? What is that? I thought it was etched. It's actually pronounced ECHT. Who knew? For months I thought it was etched because that's just like how I would think of it in my head. And then I heard someone say ECHT and I was like, excuse me? But anyways, I've wanted to try this brand for a long time. I think I've been saying that I'll do this review for like a year now. So ECHT is an Australian brand and they have so much stuff, which is why I got like this giant pile of things because I like to test out like a couple different things from them. I know that they have like a lot of like scrunch leggings, so I wanted to try a couple of those. And they also have something that looks like the Whitney Simmons Gymshark leggings, which I'm hyped to try. Honestly, a lot of their stuff reminds me of Gymshark. Like at first glance, you might think that they're just like Gymshark dupes, but it is different than Gymshark. It just like looks very Gymshark-esque. And honestly, I've heard some mixed things. I also was warned to size up, but then I looked at their size chart and it said that I was my normal size small. So I got a mix of things. I'm always hesitant to like mess around with sizes. As always, this review is gonna be 100% brutally honest. I bought all this myself. They don't know that I am doing this review. They don't know that I exist. So let's see if it's worth the hype. So a little return update. They don't give return labels, which you know what? I am totally fine to pay my return shipping costs, but they want me to hand fill out like this giant form. I don't think you can really see that very well. Basically, it's just a bunch of boxes like product name, reason for return. I have to hand write that as if they're gonna do anything with it. And then I'll have to go to the post office, fill out a customs form. And then people are telling me that it's costed them like close to $100 to ship back to Australia. Like I don't ask for much in terms of shipping. Like I said, I'm okay paying return shipping fees, but you have to make it a little easier to return. This is just like crazy. I understand they're in Australia and I might be a little bit spoiled because I'm from the US and mostly order from like US companies, but ECHT is pretty well known outside of Australia and they do ship a lot of orders internationally, so you should just have some decent returns. That's all I'm saying. So couple points knocked down for that. If you buy anything from ECHT, don't even try to return. It's not gonna be worth it. So first I'm trying the Storm leggings in the color Cinnabar, which is this nice like rusty orange color, a little fall-ish. These are $44. I got them in a size small. And by the way, you can almost always get a sale on ECHT. I think the athletes have like 10% off codes and mine just like offered me a 10% off code for being my first order. So don't ever buy at full price. And these are the leggings that I was most excited for because they remind me so much of the Whitney Simmons leggings. The Whitney Simmons leggings do bring me back some bad flashbacks of a horrible launch. So I literally just took these out of the bag and they are so incredibly soft. They really do feel like the Whitney Simmons leggings, except maybe a little bit thicker. They have like a little subtle dot pattern in them and they're a brushed fabric. Here's an up close of the fabric. There's like this very subtle print that's really cute and it's subtly brushed. It's so soft. And unlike the Whitney Simmons leggings, these ones actually have no band at the top, so they are seamless at the top. They do have that same little like double line detail that the Whitney Simmons ones do. No front seam. And the back isn't quite the same, but it does have slightly tapered booty seams. So I'm excited to try this. I think we've been sleeping on these leggings and I have a problem with it. Guys, these are so nice. Like they're totally comparable to the Whitney Simmons Gymshark ones, maybe even better because they don't have a top seam. These are a size small and they fit me really well. I would definitely say go with your normal size. And they have that same little like detail here that the Whitney Simmons ones had. No front seam, so no camel. They're super soft. I would say they're decently stretchy. I'm not being restricted. They don't have as much stretch as like Align's. Probably about a light to medium compression. They're definitely not super compressive leggings. About a 7/8 length on me. And they have the curved glute seam. Hello. So I would definitely say medium to high on the booty scale. These are actually quite flattering and they definitely don't squish me down at all. I feel like they'd be nice if I could pull them up a little bit more, but I'm not mad at it. Probably not a ton of cellulite coverage because these are pretty thin. They're super brushed and soft. With this brushness, you might get a little like pet hair occasionally, a little bit of lint collection. Okay, you know what? I will say that there's something weird going on with the stitching here. I don't know if that's something I did or if these just are like already coming apart. That's a little strange. But I feel like this is something I could like email them about and they'd send me a new pair. I don't know if they have good customer service. But you know, first impressions are good. These are the first pair of leggings I've tried from them and they're actually really nice. So I'm a fan so far. Quick little sit test. The waistband isn't cutting in or rolling down, so. And to match, I got the Storm sports bra in a size small in the same color. This one's $34 and it's the same fabric. It has little removable cut pads. It has like a little elastic band on the inside, but on the outside it just looks like a seamless sports bra, and it has some little strappy details. So let's try this on. All right, so the bra I'm not like super impressed with. It's okay. It's definitely soft, which is nice. The fabric is just a little bit thin, so it's not see-through because it's double lined with the bra, but I feel like you can see the outline of the cut pads, which is always like a little annoying. It's definitely not super supportive. I'd say like maybe a medium support, light to medium. I do like how the band is pretty seamless at the bottom. It has the layer of fabric going over the band, so you can't really like see the elastic. It's comfortable. I just don't feel like super lifted or anything. In the back is pretty cute with the straps. I'd say it'd be cute for like a smaller cup size, but this isn't like my personal favorite kind of sports bra. Not that it's like a bad sports bra, this is just not something I usually go for. Also, this fabric seems like the kind of fabric that wouldn't be sweat proof just because it is pretty brushed, and usually those fabrics show a little bit of sweat. So I feel like I would get some under boob sweat on these. I am pretty covered though. I'm not really getting any side boob spillage, and it is a scoop neck, but it's not like cleavage, and I'm definitely like staying in when I move around. So pretty good containment here. I tried to straighten my hair and part it down the middle today, and I don't think I'm feeling it, so I won't be doing this hairstyle again. And I was told by many people that I have to try the Arise Scrunch Leggings. So these are the Arise V2, I think, in the color Berry. I wanted to get a lighter color because I don't necessarily love this color, but they're honestly kind of sold out of some things, which I shouldn't be surprised because all activewear like sells out. So these were $51. I got them in a size small, and they're kind of like a seamless knit material. If I had to compare it to something, I would compare it to the fabric of the Gymshark Flex leggings. So they have no front seam, they are seamless in the front, and they do have a pretty prominent scrunch in the back. I used to kind of tell myself that I liked scrunch leggings, and they're just kind of uncomfortable. Like you really, whenever you bend over at the gym with a scrunch, they feel really tight. Maybe these will be different. So they have a thick ribbed waistband that is sewn onto the leggings, and here's the scrunch in the back, and they also have a booty contour. So there's a lot going on with these. You have a scrunch and like a pretty intense contour that's made of like a different fabric. So there should be some glute enhancement going on here. So let's try it on. So these leggings really just said, let's take the glutes to another level. I literally looked in the mirror and was like, what? So here they are. I definitely have some critiques of them, but first of all, what? They were like, okay, so let's give some separation, let's give some lift. I feel like my glutes are a different part of my body right now. So first of all, the scrunch is quite intense, and they have this like ribbed detailing that I literally feel squeezing underneath the glutes and actually like lifting me up. I've literally never felt my bum be so lifted, and like, it's okay, to be honest, it's like a lot. If you want a legging to do as much as possible for your glutes, honestly, these are it. Personally, it's a little too much for me. I would feel like too many people are like staring at me, but honestly, like creeps at the gym, they stare no matter what you wear, so maybe just like do your thing. And at first I thought the scrunch was a little bit uncomfortable, but now that I have them on and situated, it's actually not that bad. The waistband actually gives a decent amount of compression. I'd say it's probably like a medium to high compression waistband, and then the rest of the leggings is about a medium compression. Under the glutes, it's a high compression. They have no front seam. There's like a little bit of gathering, but I don't think it's like super intense. They are a seamless legging, so it's kind of like what you get sometimes. This is definitely gonna be a good like performance fabric that's not gonna pill or anything. They're a little short on me, kind of like a 7/8. They will have good cellulite coverage as well because this fabric is pretty thick and pretty knit, and it also has a little marl to it, so definitely will disguise. And I really can't give these anything but a high on the booty scale. This is like literally so intense. They do so much logoing on their leggings though. They have the ECHT on the waistband, they have a little mini ECHT metal thing, and somewhere on my legs, oh yeah, down there, there's another ECHT. It's like, isn't one logo enough? So honestly, I'm just very entertained by these. If you want something to enhance the glutes, I mean, these, they got you. The darker colors will be a little more subtle. I think they had like kind of a black and dark gray version. Quick little sit test. You do definitely feel the scrunch when you like kind of bend over and sit down. It does kind of go up a little bit, but it's not interfering with like any front regions, so it's okay with me. It's not really rolling down or anything in the sit test, so I'd say it's pretty good. And to match, I got the Arise Scrunch sports bra. I got it in a size small, and this was $36, so it just matches the leggings. It's the same material, but it has like a little like scrunch between the girls. And then we also have some adjustable straps, which I do like to see adjustable straps in sports bras. It actually has a good amount of coverage, which is really nice. It completely covers the side boobs, and it's covering most of the cleavage. It's a scoop neck, but I'm really not getting any cleavage, and I feel like it would hold me in really well. Pretty supportive for a spaghetti strap. I'd say it's like a medium to high support, maybe just medium to high for a small cup size. The straps are a little thin, so they have started cutting into my neck a little bit, which is an issue I get with like not super soft fabrics plus spaghetti straps. It's just like a lot of pressure on the traps. I like that the straps are adjustable. Yeah, I think it's a solid sports bra. In this color, it would definitely hide sweat really well. But yeah, good coverage, good support. It would just cut into my neck a little bit because of the spaghetti straps. These are the Interlock shorts. It's very like stiff and very dense. It kind of reminds me of like a wetsuit. Very strange, but the style of them is nice. They have a seamless waistband. I got these in a medium. They honestly look like pretty big. They have no front seam, so I like that they're going for the no front seam thing. They seem about like a 4 to 5 inch inseam. I wonder how long they actually are. I can measure that. They also have little curved glute contour seams, but the fabric just feels weird to me. Maybe it'll actually be nice, but it's just very stiff, very thick. I thought these kind of looked like the Storm leggings, so I kind of thought that they would be like a similar material, but they are not. All right, let's try them on. All right, I take it back about the fabric. This fabric is actually pretty nice. So these are in a size medium. I would definitely say they fit pretty good, so potentially size up in the shorts. I have a little bit of room in the waist, but this fabric is nice because it's kind of like a sleek performance material, but it actually has a lot of stretch to it and pretty decent compression too. I would give it a solid medium compression. They're always more compressive in the legs to me because we got some thick boy thighs. So it has a nice seamless waistband. They're pretty high rise. It goes above my belly button. No front seam, which I like. These are a 6-inch inseam, so they're definitely nice and long. This is kind of like my preferred length for shorts. And I thought this was a mistake, but they're actually meant to kind of go like a little bit up in the corner. So they're pretty plain shorts, but they do have this little kind of like scoop detail. They also have slightly curved seams in the back, so they're pretty flattering on the glutes. I'd say medium to high on the booty scale. And I have not had an issue with them like rolling up or anything. I've tried to walk around a little bit. With this length of short, usually I have pretty good luck with them staying in place. While it is like snug on the thighs, they're actually not really like cutting into my thighs at all. They are pretty stretchy down here at the seam. These are actually pretty solid shorts. Yeah, I actually like these. Then I got the Arise Scrunch shorts in a medium. So these are very similar to the Arise Scrunch leggings, except these ones seem to be a little more subtle on the like booty contour situation. Also very weird that they would put the logo like on the back bottom of the leg. It just seems like it's in the wrong spot. Also, if you have the logo like on the waistband like this, I don't really think you need to put one of the little cheap press-on logos on the leg. Like just leave it off. So many brands are so obsessed with like logoing their clothes that sometimes their logos like ruin it. I'm like, listen, if people really want to know what it is, they'll come up and ask you in the gym. So these do have a glute contour, but it's very subtle and it's not like a different color like the last ones. So I think that's kind of nice. I think these are like the Arise like V1 and the other ones were the V2, and the V2s are a little bit intense for me. These do also seem like slightly longer shorts, which I am all for. A nice longer pair of shorts, kind of like biker short. All right. Try on. All right, so these are the Arise Scrunch shorts, and I did get a medium, so I do have some extra fabric in this area, so I would say go with your normal size. That being said, they are a little bit tight in the thighs. They're not really like squishing too much, but I would be a little bit concerned about getting a small for that reason. That's why shorts are difficult if you have thighs. Still pretty compressive in the waistband, probably about a medium compression and medium to high compression all around. So I believe these are the V1 scrunch, so they're definitely a little more subtle. They don't have like contrasting colors for the glute contour, so they're definitely still super glute enhancing, but I feel like because the colors aren't as stark of a contrast that it's not like as like whoa in your face as the other ones, but I'm definitely getting a lot of glute separation and definitely another high on the booty scale. I really don't like this little logo placement. Is that just me or does that look like a mistake? Not a fan. Probably pretty good cellulite coverage on these as well because they're pretty thick, and yeah, if you're really into the scrunch, I think that these shorts are actually pretty solid. They kind of remind me of the high-waisted flex shorts from Gymshark on steroids. Okay, then I got the free flow shorts, which I kind of thought they were going to be that kind of like sleek, like athletic material short, because they're kind of like the running style shorts. They're definitely more of like a kind of cottony lounge short, which is fine. It's just not what I was expecting. They're very short. They're going to be like a 2-inch inseam, and they just have kind of like a little drawstring. There's really nothing special about them. They don't have any built-in like underwear or anything. You can just tell it's kind of just like a regular cotton material. So really just a lounge short, but they were only $33. So that's pretty good. Except honestly, for a lounge short, I could pay like $12 at like H&M or Target or something. So, all right, so here are these shorts. I got them in a size small. I could have maybe done a size medium, maybe for a little extra length. They're pretty snug in the waist, and they're actually high-waisted, which sometimes these shorts are usually like a mid to low rise. But that being said, I'm not getting a lot of coverage in the back. So honestly, there's not a lot to say about these. They're just kind of basic lounge shorts. I don't really think they're great, and I feel like I'm at risk of being exposed. Pinto, did you come to play fetch? He came to play fetch. Ready? Wanna play? Ready? Ready? So yeah, not the biggest fan of these. Then I got the Force Scrunch Leggings in crimson. They do have scrunch leggings with no front seam, which I almost got, but I kind of wanted to get these because I thought these were one of their like kind of OG scrunch leggings. But the ones with no front seam are definitely better because like I said, the scrunch can kind of like pull, and if you have a front seam, it could cause, you know, camel problems. So I got these in a medium to check out like the size up. These are seamless in the waist. Again, they do have a front seam, and they have slightly curved glute seams, which it does seem like they have those a lot, which I do appreciate. They're subtle, but they definitely like enhance the glutes a little bit. And they have a scrunch, and then they're just like basic leggings. These kind of feel like a Lululemon Luon. They're not brushed, but they're also not like sleek. And I'm honestly not a huge fan of the scrunch. I like when they're more of like an internal scrunch. This definitely looks like, I don't know, like stitching on the outside. And when you have so much like stitching on the outside, I feel like it looks kind of like your leggings are like inside out, and it just looks like a little cheap. Maybe you won't really be able to see it because it'll be like in the like, you know, booty crease. But the scrunch is also kind of like not straight up and down. Like the stitching kind of goes off to the side in some places, not in like an intentional zigzag. So it just like doesn't look the best. Anyways, let's try it on. All right, so I don't know what people were doing telling me to size up, because these are medium and they're definitely too big. So I would go with your normal size. These are actually pretty nice. The fabric is decently stretchy, maybe a little bit restricting at full bend. And it's a nice, like slight, almost brushed kind of fabric, kind of like a Lululemon Luon. It has a front seam, which I expected, oh, hey. I expected the front seam to cause some problems, but it actually really isn't that bad. That might be because it's a medium and I do have like a little bit of extra space, but it's not too bad. Here's the scrunch. It's pretty flattering. I would definitely give these a medium to high on the booty scale. I did prefer how the scrunch of the Arise Seamless felt for some reason. Maybe because of the different fabric. I just feel like the scrunch doesn't look really good on this fabric personally. And it's actually not too tight when I bend over, so that's pretty good. But I also have a size up in this, so it's hard to know. I wouldn't expect a whole lot of cellulite coverage with these because the fabric is a little bit thin. I'd say these are about a medium compression, maybe light to medium. Probably medium in your normal size. Probably will show a little bit of sweat, and has a nice seamless waistband. So if you're into scrunch leggings, these are actually pretty nice. I would say like the scrunch quality of something like a CLS sportswear legging is better. I'm gonna show you actually. So these are from CLS Sportswear, which is a really nice brand, and you can tell the scrunch is completely like internal. You don't have like the external stitching like the ECHT ones do, which I just feel like it looks a lot more high quality. If you look at this one, you just have all these external seams, but these, all the seams are internal with the scrunch, which I just prefer that for a scrunch legging. It just looks a little more subtle. And I was also told that I needed to try some joggers. So these are the tapered women's joggers in White Cloud. They seem pretty nice. These were $44. And they have these nice zip pockets, which are lined with like this thick plastic, which it is nice to have zip pockets, because regular pockets I don't really trust to hold anything without falling out. They have a thick elastic waistband with a drawstring. I got these in a size medium. Usually I'm about a medium in joggers. They have the ECHT logo embroidered onto this side, which is nice. I like a nice embroidered logo. The other press-on logos, honestly, like they like fall off over time after a lot of washes. I would say this fabric doesn't feel like super plush and luxurious. It does feel like a little bit lightweight. So maybe like not too much of like a winter jogger or anything, but let's try it on. Okay, I got a medium in these joggers and they're so small. I'm like a small in leggings, and even a lot of joggers I can do a small. And these are like so tight on me, and I can barely even pull them up to like a good point on my waist. Like they're pretty tight in the calf region, and this fabric, honestly, it's really not that soft. Usually on the inside of joggers, it might be like slightly brushed. These really aren't very soft. They also don't have a ton of stretch to them. I mean, overall, I feel like they have some cute details. For like $45, I would have expected a little better in terms of joggers, and they also don't really have a lot going on in the back or anything. So I'm really not a fan of these either. Alright guys, so that's it for the review. Kind of as I expected, there were definitely some hits and some misses. I feel like some of the quality things just didn't really impress me. There's a lot of logos. I did really like the storm leggings and those kind of olivey gray shorts. The Arise scrunch stuff was actually really nice if you're into like super scrunch, like booty contour stuff, but some of the rest of the pieces really just didn't impress me, especially for the price. This is about a Gymshark price range, so some of the things I just felt like needed to be like a little bit amped up. Give this video a thumbs up if you like my brutally honest reviews, and if you're new here, make sure to subscribe for more videos. Thank you guys so much for watching, and I'll see you next time. Bye!